All right, so I finally have gotten my hands on a fragrance from Maison Asrar. And a few of you all in the comments for, I want to say at least the past several weeks or so, have been asking me to look into this one. So I went ahead and picked it up. This one is Maison Asrar's Legacy. And so if you're not aware, this is basically, it's an interpretation of Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman. So obviously, I have the Art of Universe from Latafa, and this is a pretty good interpretation of Blue Talisman. I was definitely pretty happy with how this one actually smelled, and definitely how it performs for sure. Now, I want to say I paid about the same amount really for both of these. I know this one was like $50. I want to say I paid like $50 for this as well. And these are both 100 ml bottles, all right? Now, as for the presentation, basically this little canister is like the box basically for the Maison Asrar. So you get the Legacy Royal Collection up top, Maison Asrar. This is in Eau de Parfum in a 100 ml bottle. You've got like a authenticity sticker over here, like off to the side. And you've got Maison Asrar written on the top. Now on the bottom, you have, looks like, yeah, the ingredients and then also the production date. I believe this bottle was produced in, April of this year. And this just kind of comes up like that. And then the bottle sits in there like that. All right. So pretty nice looking bottle. It's a very kind of solid, feeling bottle. It doesn't feel like cheap at all. This definitely does smell, or it feels like it is a more kind of expensive, type of fragrance. And it is pretty eye-catching with like the gold, sort of accents over the blue. So you've got Legacy Royal Collection written there. You've got like a gold metal cap here up top. And what does this say up top? Gulf Orchid, I believe is what that says on the top. And then you've got on the bottom here, Gulf Orchid, made in UAE, Eau de Parfum. And this is a 75% concentration, all right? So let's go ahead and first go over the notes of both this as well as Blue Talisman. So for Blue Talisman, the notes on that are, in the top notes, you get pear, bergamot, mandarin orange, and ginger. In the mid, you get orange blossom and Georgie wood. And then in the base, you get musk, ambrofix, akigala wood, and cedar. Now for Legacy, for this one, in the top notes, you get ginger, pear, and bergamot. In the mid, you get orange blossom, jasmine, and woody notes. And then in the base, you get amber, vanilla, and musk. Now, the main reason why I went ahead and picked this up is I started, seeing like a lot of, like review videos kind of popping up in my YouTube feed about this fragrance. And while, I try not to watch really too many, YouTube reviews, especially of fragrances that I plan on doing my own reviews of, because I don't ever want to kind of, I always want to have my own thoughts about a fragrance whenever I'm reviewing it. So I don't want to really be influenced one way or the other. And so that's why I try not really to watch too many, fragrance YouTube reviews. But I kept seeing reviews of this pop up. And I believe I saw a short of one reviewer that basically said that like they believed this was a 1-to-1 to Blue Talisman. So with that being said, I went ahead and searched for it, picked it up, and here we are. So what I can say is this fragrance so far, it does seem to be one of those fragrances where you do kind of have to judge this fragrance, I would say, after it's, kind of sit. And I'm noticing that really each and every day, that I spray this fragrance, it seems like each and every day that I spray this fragrance, it does seem to be getting better and better in terms of, definitely in terms of the performance, for sure. But also overall, I think in terms of the smell. The first day when I sprayed this, I pulled it out of the canister and sprayed it on, and I sprayed it side by side with Blue Talisman. I was not impressed at all, and I was like, this is not a one-to-one to Blue Talisman at all. And I mean, even still today, I would say, especially in the initial opening, this is not, it's definitely, it does have a better opening, in my opinion, than what Art of Universe does. And really, I would say overall, the Maison Asrar Legacy is the better interpretation over the Lattafa Art of Universe. This is definitely more of sort of like a sweeter sort of twist on the scent profile, a sweeter, more kind of like beast mode take on it. Whereas the Maison Asrar definitely has a lot more, I would say, refinement. It does smell more natural smelling and closer to like what, the Blue Talisman does. But it is not, to me, like a one-to-one per se. The Blue Talisman to me just has like a slightly brighter feel to it. And it has like a softness to it as well that I don't really get in the Legacy. Now, is the Legacy the closest thing that I've smelled to Blue Talisman so far out of every Blue Talisman interpretation that I've smelled? Absolutely. This is definitely, in my opinion, way better than the Yamen Leo version that I have the sample of. That one, I would say this is way better than that. It's definitely better than the Lattafa Art of Universe. It's obviously better than the Atul Alam, what is it? Taj 2. It's definitely is better than that for sure. But again, can I say that this is a one-to-one? No, but it's still very close. I would say this is easily like 95% close to Blue Talisman. So, for anybody who just can't justify paying like the $300 for the Blue Talisman, I would absolutely say that you'll, for the most part, have like the exact same kind of experience wearing Legacy that you would with Blue Talisman. This is a very like, bright, fruity, floral. Yeah, I would say a very bright, fruity, floral style type of fragrance for sure. Some people say that, Blue Talisman, does lean a little bit feminine. I could kind of see that. To me, it's a very unisex, style fragrance. But the way that the fruitiness comes across in this fragrance, and also I would say the really nice smooth softness, it does kind of, lean slightly, you could say, feminine. But in my opinion, it's definitely, at least, the way that it wears on my skin, it's a very unisex style scent. But yeah, I mean, really, I would say for the first probably 30 minutes or so, there is a noticeable difference between the Legacy and between the Blue Talisman. I feel like Blue Talisman, the way that it does the citruses, as well as like the orange blossom, it comes across smelling a little bit more natural smelling and, more better blended. Whereas the Legacy, to me, it almost kind of comes across as like the darker, like a slightly darker style fragrance, at least for like the first 30 minutes or so. Yeah, like I said, the Legacy is slightly less bright. It's slightly more rough, in terms of like the blend quality. So to me, I feel like this does not have the exact same blend quality to where it's like a one-to-one at least for like the first 30 minutes or so. Um, and it doesn't have the exact same sort of softness that you get from the Blue Talisman. Now, after probably like the 30 to 45 minute mark, after that, then I would say this definitely, between the Blue Talisman and the Legacy, for probably 45 through probably hour 2, these two fragrances do smell like almost indistinguishable for the most part. So that I would say is really where you could say that this is almost like a 1-to-1. It's pretty much after like that 30 to 45 minute mark for the most part. So again, I mean, even though I'm saying that this is not like a 1-to-1 to Blue Talisman, this is definitely still the best interpretation of Blue Talisman that I've smelled so far. Now, another thing that I've been a little disappointed with, when it comes to this fragrance, is the performance of this. Now, the performance obviously is not going to be anywhere near what the Lattafa is. The Lattafa is, it's even stronger than what the original Blue Talisman is. So, again, this even has a slightly different feel to it. It's definitely sweeter and denser. And so that's why this fragrance, the Art of Universe, is going to come off, more sort of beast mode. This definitely, for probably like the first hour and a half or so, it has about the same strength pretty much as what Blue Talisman has. But then after that, that's when I feel like this one definitely, it starts to, get noticeably weaker than what the Blue Talisman does. And this also does not last on me, nearly as long as what Blue Talisman or the Art of Universe do so far. Now, like I said, each day that I've kind of sprayed this on, it does seem to be getting slightly better, as it starts to age. So maybe after about a month or two or so of, kind of letting this fragrance sit, it may actually start to, perform the way the Blue Talisman does. But in terms of longevity, I'm only so far getting about, I would say, around like that 6-hour mark at maximum, pretty much. Really more kind of like 5.5 though. And then, again, the projection on this for like the first hour and a half, it's about what Blue Talisman is. So basically like an arm's length. But then after that, this seems to become considerably weaker than, what the Blue Talisman does. So I'll definitely do another video on this one, later on. I'll probably give this one maybe about a month to a month and a half or so, because like I said, with this one being the best Blue Talisman interpretation that I've smelled so far, this is not a fragrance that I intend to sell. I definitely intend to keep this fragrance. So I'll definitely kind of do a follow-up video about this fragrance to see, if it does actually, start to become closer, in the opening over that, period of time. And then also, if it starts to perform better. But again, so far, this is very, very good. Now, in terms of my closeness rating to Blue Talisman for Legacy, this, I would say so far is about, 95% close to Blue Talisman. So again, it's not a 1-to-1 in my opinion, but it's still extremely close to Blue Talisman. And it's, I would say, for the price point that you pay for this, with how close it comes to Blue Talisman, this does not make me want to go out and buy a bottle of Blue Talisman at all. All right. Not for the price that fragrance goes for. So this is still, I would say, the best interpretations, again, so far that I've smelled of that fragrance. And then in terms of my overall rating on this one, easily a 9 out of 10 for this fragrance. I do like the Blue Talisman scent profile. I do like, that very kind of like fruity pear that you get in the opening, mixed with, those the florals like the orange blossom and the Yeah, the orange blossom, it definitely gives off like a sort of jasmine feel as well. I really, really enjoy that. And it's basically, it's a very, I would say it's a very long lasting, you know, fresh, fruity, floral, you know, type of scent profile overall. So I do like to wear the scent profile. And I do think that this is probably the best interpretation out there so far. All right. So definitely, like I said, I'll have a follow-up video on this fragrance. I have a another interpretation that should probably be here by tomorrow from Afnan of, you know, Blue Talisman. So I'll definitely be doing a comparison video between how this stacks up the Blue Talisman versus the Afnan versus the Art of Universe, to kind of, you know, let you all see which one seems, you know, to me to be like the best interpretation. My money is probably banking on the Maison Asrar Legacy, but we'll have to see. All right. But, you know, again, overall, that is my take on this fragrance. Definitely let me know in the comments what you all think about Maison Asrar's Legacy. And if you all are actually enjoying wearing this fragrance. Also, let me know if you all feel like you don't need, you know, the original Blue Talisman if you have this fragrance. All right. Also, I'll have links in the description to where you can actually pick this fragrance up. And if you're brand new to the channel, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe. And again, that's Jamar from Vegas Scents. I'll see you on the next video.